Nights to have Earl Young with us. Earl is a former gold Olympian. We talked about that. It's 1960, right?
Whoa, that's far back.
1960. Which event was it that you won the gold medal in?
I won the gold in the 4x4. Wow. Relay, 4x4 relay.
4x4 relay. That's pretty impressive.
I ran the open 400. Thank you. And took dead last. Tied the world record, but took last.
Earl's got a really neat story, which you're going to hear more about tonight, beyond the Olympics. He has a new book that came out this last year, Gold in Grace. If you're interested in this book, it's probably on Amazon, I'm sure.
Thank you so much. And that's, you just blessed me with those songs. It's wonderful. Y'all are beautiful. And all the chemo I took made me a type 2 diabetic. And I think I'm okay, but if I run out of sugar, I'm going to have to gulp a little bit. So I think we'll be fine. Since Jacob was kind enough to start off with the finish, we'll go back and start off with what he brought up. And I was born in San Fernando, California, and went to Abilene Christian when I was 17. I went there on a track scholarship. Matter of fact, it's kind of interesting. Y'all don't remember the name Bobby Morrow, I'm sure, but Bobby Morrow in 1956 in Melbourne, Australia won the 100, the 200, and anchored the sprint relay. 3 gold medals. He was from San Saba and Abilene Christian. And I am sitting in class, getting ready to graduate, and a message comes down from the registrar's office that I need to talk to my dad. So I go to the registrar's office and called Dad, and he said, son, he said, Bobby Morrow and Oliver Jackson are here in my office and want to take us to lunch. Can you get out of school? Just imagine what that's like. I hopped in my 55 Chevy and scooted up there, and sure enough, there was Bobby by golly Morrow. I didn't know who the other man was, Oliver Jackson, who was to be what my dad called my second dad, and he really was. He was my coach. But I hadn't done anything outstanding in high school. I had a 49.6, which got me second in the Valley League. But 2 years later, at 19, I was standing on the winner's stand in Rome. You never know what God's got planned for you, folks. And I've said that, and let me tell you what. I said that, and I hope it sounded like I said it with conviction, because I mean it with conviction. I spent a big part of my life not thinking that. Raised in the church, knew the Bible, and went to a Christian school, but had a secular life. And thought that was the way to go, and it wasn't. And I can tell you that when I say now, I was talking to Jacob about that. You look back in your life, and I think I can define that the Father never let go of me, and He never lets go of y'all. I see where I could have done so much more. You know, purpose. A friend of mine just said to me the other day, she said, Earl, do you remember just before you found out you had acute myeloid leukemia, that you've been saying, you know, I really don't feel like I've had a purpose. Whammo! The opportunity came, and there it was. And if y'all have ever seen the movie Chairs of Fire, it's a great movie. And in there, the main character, Eric Little, who was an Olympian, says he believed God made him for a purpose. And when he ran, he felt God's pleasure. And I thought on that. That was back in 1981 that movie came out. And I thought on that for years about him saying that. And thought, you know, I never felt like God was involved in my running. Never felt that I was pleasing Him running. It's a big statement. Let me tell you now, you can take this to the bank. I feel His purpose now. I feel His pleasure with what I'm doing now. I've been so rewarded to have this cancer and be able to do this at the end of my life. It's amazing to be going out at the best time of your life. And that's what I'm getting to do. I'm being pretty open with y'all, but you're my brothers and sisters. If I can't be open with you, who am I going to be open with? I hope you know what your purpose is. God didn't put anybody down here without a purpose. That's just a fact. So you may be doing something now and you're thinking, yeah, well, it may change up. You don't know how it's going to come about. If you feel moved towards something, if you feel moved toward a change, oh yeah, but that's less money. That ain't got a thing to do with it. It ain't got a thing to do with it. Stay tuned in to the Father. There's so much to be done and so much happiness to come from that. I thought it was in money. It's not in money. It's not in money. So let me move ahead to September 2011. I had just put a company together with a team of pain specialists, some of the top ones in the United States, and there was a new procedure that one of them had, and we were going to take that company and have a consolidation of have a pain management company, and it did work out, but I wasn't a part of it. We had just we went over to South Korea because South Korea lets you operate with less restrictions if the patient doesn't do well. So we went over there to bring some new product to market and all. And we were coming back, and I told my partner, I said, I feel terrible. He said, I said, sniffle and cough I can't get rid of. He said, yeah, it's flying and being in the air all the time. And so when I got back, I went to my doctor, and he drew some blood, and I was getting ready to leave the office, and he said, he comes out of his office, and he said, oh, I thought you'd already left. He said, come in my office. He said, you don't feel bad? I said, well, just a sniffle and cough. And now looking back, I see I was feeling worse than that. But no, just a sniffle and cough. He said, I just called across the street to Texas Oncology. I want you to take this file. An oncologist will meet you at the front door. Wow, kind of steps the pace up a bit. And I went over across the street, and sure enough, there was an oncologist at the front door. I handed him the file. And he said, Mr. Young, this is not good. I need to do a bone marrow biopsy. And folks, starting right there, I didn't know what a bone marrow biopsy was. I had no idea what's coming about. And you go back in the procedure room, they stick a needle in your hip, draw some fluid out. I go to the waiting room. After a while, his nurse comes out and gets me. I go into his office and sit down. He said, Mr. Young, I have some bad news. I don't know how many times you've heard that in your life. I do not recall another time in my life. So, but this one kind of superior to all the others if they are there. But he said, I have some bad news. He said, you have acute myeloid leukemia with an FLT3 mutation. And he said, that's the worst you can have. And I sat there for a minute. I said, how long do I have? He said, maybe 3 months. Wow. That day was really going downhill quick. And he said, now that's if we do nothing. We can put you on medication. We can see how long we can keep you alive with meds. And there is a cure. It was called a bone marrow transplant. Now you call them stem cell transplants. It was a bone marrow transplant. And he said, those are the three options. What would you like to do? I said, transplant, please. He said, okay. He said, Medical City or Baylor? I said, Medical City. He said, okay, head on over there. I want to get you prepped tonight. We're going to start working on you tonight. And I said, well, wait a minute. I need to go home and explain to the family what's happened. And I went home and explained to the family what was going on. Of course, wives have a million questions that you can't answer. But checked in that night and pretty much spent 4 months at Medical City Hospital. Got to know the folks real well over there. And 2 weeks before what I'm telling you about here, 2 weeks before this in Offenburg, Germany, a lady named Christine Wagg became a bone marrow donor. And that's a very easy procedure, much like a transfusion. And as it turned out, Christine was my twin, is my twin. And she was the only match out of 22 million that are on file, that were on file then. She was the only person in the files that could save my life. So after 4 months of chemo and going into remission, she went to her hospital there in Offenburg. They put a needle in her arm like a transfusion, like I said. Her stem cells spin out in an apheresis machine. And they bring that across the ocean right up to my room and plug it into me. And Christine flows into my body, her bone marrow. I am no longer B male positive, I am O female. It makes a change in your blood. And she's doing a great job. She's kept this body moving for 14 years now. And I'm blessed in so many ways. 10 years ago, I decided that to start the foundation, Earl Young's team. And what we do is go to universities especially, because your stem cells are the sweet ones. 18 to 30 is a sweet spot. That's a sweet spot. We go up to 55, but you're really hungry for that 18 to 30. So we go to universities. My first drive was at Lipscomb, as a matter of fact, and second one was at Abilene Christian, then at Oklahoma Christian, I mentioned. And there's an interesting feature that I want to share with y'all. In the business world, I didn't go to my Abilene Christian and my church contacts. And this is totally built with those people. This foundation is. It's a communication. It's a family. You are part of a family, I guarantee you. Some awesome people. Your family, you know that. And that you know who you can trust and who you can really, really open yourself up to. And that's you, and that's me. So I began with those three schools. That was 10 years ago. I have a staff of 9, and we have over 40,000 that we've registered, 40,000 people. And we have 185 people that have received matches from those people. So, and that's what you're after. And that is what you publicize that you're out there doing. You're increasing awareness and you're registering donors and hoping to save lives. But you know what? A big event you have right now. And I'm torn between whether it's the biggest of the two. But after hearing this story and knowing that God made your body in such a way, gave you the gift of life for yourself, and now I'm up here telling you that you may have an opportunity in your life to share your gift of life with someone and keep them alive. How many times in your life had a chance to save a life? That doesn't come to everybody. It's pretty unique. And remember, what I'm telling you is one of you, 2 of you, 3 of you, God, a bunch of you, it'd be wonderful, may end up being called if you register, and they say that it looks like you have a match. It's a 3-year-old little girl in Oklahoma, and we'd like to know if you still want to participate. And it's as simple as that. There's the procedure is simple on the donor. Actually, it's pretty simple on the recipient too. But that's what we do, and that's why I've asked Jacob to put this group together. I wanted to tell you this story, tell you how vital this is and necessary this is, and you don't even know right now, I don't even know right now. There could be a person out there right now that doesn't even have AML. But next year they're going to be told they have AML. And it might be that you signed up tonight to get the call to save a life. I've experienced what I told you a while ago about Eric Little saying that that everyone's born with a purpose, and his purpose, he was running, and he felt that God was with him when he was running. He felt his pleasure. I know what that means now. I didn't feel it running, but I feel it being involved in this foundation, doing what we're doing. I know this is my purpose. There's no question. And I was telling Jacob too, it's interesting, you look back, I get to look back over 85 years this Saturday. And I get to look at a lot of things that have happened in my life. Abilene Christian, from California, 49-6, getting an opportunity to go to school, and 2 years later on the Olympic team, and other events throughout my life. You're not there yet. You can't look back that far. But I promise you will someday. I hope you get to someday. And as far as this is concerned, if God one day said, I'm going to have to give this guy cancer to get his attention, great. Great. I wouldn't give you the cancer back, by the way. You can't have it. I wouldn't trade. And I was telling Jacob too, here I am at the end of life. I get to go out at the best part of my life. I don't know how that strikes you, but for me, it really hits home. There's no fear of death at all, and and then to have this opportunity to help your fellow man. We're doing great. We're doing great. This foundation's built to where it'll be running after I'm gone. Made sure of that. We've got some big meetings out at Abilene. The business school at Abilene is taking over to be the sponsor of what we do at Abilene Christian. And I'm hoping they'll move bigger than that. It got some grand ideas. We'll just see what comes of it. Can I answer any questions? I'm doing a lot of talking here, and I hope it's... I answered all your questions. Well, I guess we're ready to swab.
Earl, explain to us the process.
Wait, I got Emma and Megan to explain the process. They're going to help with it. You just fill out a registration form on your phone. Pretty simple.
After you register for telling the story.
You swab 3 times, 3 swabs. Yeah, after your spit. Okay, so you swab 3 times. That goes into the envelope that they'll give you. And that is sent to Germany, where our partners, our upstream partners are, DKMS, the organization that had my donor. And they will type it, and you'll go in the files. And you'll be in those files until you're 61 years old. And gosh, I hope some of y'all get a call. It's so great because you get to go back and tell the other folks at church. Other people get to watch it and know what's going on. You're going to see a lot more about us. We've hired SunWest Communications just last week. You're going to see a lot more of us in social media, and we're around to do some good. So remember, it's to save lives. It's to benefit your relationship with your Father, and say, you bet. And you never know along the way where you might even have a little evangelism in it. That pops up all the time. Thank you, Jacob.
Let's give them a round of applause. So we're going to do it over here. We're not forcing anyone to swab. You're still allowed to leave tonight if you don't. But it's painless and takes just a couple of seconds. But y'all visit with Earl, get to know Earl. Did you bring the bling? There.
Bling! Hey, anybody wants to get a picture taken with this, it's fun. I've been hauling this around now for a few years, and this is the only year that they put the chain on it, and I'm so glad they did, because it becomes an easy item to hang over somebody's neck, and plus it's beautiful. And yeah.
You know, that's